Okay, once again, Randall Postiglione. Okay, it is April 16th. This is for my Joliet Montessori kids. All right, we're talking about using binomials and trinomial manipulation by multiplying and factoring. Okay, we can solve equations, quadratic equations. Quadratic equations have x's that are squared. Okay? All right, so let's see. The last video we we had we had this equation that we put into the general form here of a quadratic equation. Ax squared plus bx plus c equals 0. All right, now that's going to become important because you can't always factor. All right, and I'm going to show you. What we can do to find out what x is. And basically, at the end of the day, that's what algebra is all about. Finding the unknown, right? Okay, in this case, it's x. All right, so I'm going to erase this. We found out last time that x was 4 and negative 5. Cool. That's where this curve, okay, we call it a parabola, would pass through the x-axis. Okay, basically we're finding x-intercepts. All right, which this will become clearer to you right now. We're just trying to figure out what x is. Okay, step by step. This the understanding should come later. All right. To learn the mechanics, okay, we just go through some worksheets. In fact, I'm sending you an email that's got links to CUDA worksheets. One for the last video is just solving for x by factoring. Okay, I'll give you the link. And this one, well, we're doing something a little different. Okay. Okay, so I'm going to change this because I know this is factorable. And I know, last video we found out what x was. Okay. When you have x squared plus x equals 20. All right. What if I had this? X squared plus 2x equals 20. Okay, I'm going to move the 20 to the other side, change the sign. Okay, now, is this a quadratic equation? Yes. Okay, it's got a squared here. All right. Once we find out what x is, these are going to be the x-intercepts. Whether it's a smiley face or a frowny face, it's where the curve passes through the x-axis. Okay, got it. All right, now, can this be factored? Can this be factored? I don't think so. Okay, I don't think so. Because remember, our factors of 20 have to somehow add up to 2. All right, well, 4 times 5, can't get a 2 from that. 2 times 10, can't get a 2 from that. Maybe 8, right? But no, not 2. This is not factorable. Okay, this is not factorable. Now, what mathematicians have done is they figured out a way to represent x. So they took this equation, okay, and they solve for x. Now it takes about 8 steps, which in high school I go over with my kids. You have to do some manipulations. You have to do some fancy algebraic footwork. Okay. One is completing the square, which we have not talked about yet. But like I said, I'm just gonna give it to you. This x equals negative b plus or minus the square root of b squared minus 4ac all over 2a is the quadratic formula. The quadratic formula. Remember I said certain textbooks call this general form or standard form. They have different terms for the same thing. Okay, this is always the quadratic formula. Okay, when you solve for x, you get this. Now notice there's an a. See the a's, and there's b's, and there's a c. So you move all this gobbledygook around, and you get this. It would be wise to memorize this. Okay, it would be wise to memorize this. Okay, because you're going to use it a lot. If you're lucky enough to be able to factor, God bless you. That's terrific. Okay, but I'll tell you, 9 times out of 10, in the real world, you can't. Okay, it's numbers just don't behave that nicely for us. So what I'm going to do here is I'm going to ask myself, well, what's A, what's B, and what's C? Strongly recommend that you do it this way. Okay. I hope you can see this whiteboard too. Okay. If not, maybe just zoom in or enlarge your screen. But anyway, what's A? Well, A is 1, right? There's an invisible 1 here. B is 2. C is negative 20. Now, don't make a mistake there, because one mistake, you get the whole thing wrong. That's just the way it is. All right. Now, I am going to erase some of this stuff. Okay. It's, here's our formula. I'm sorry, here's our equation. Plus 2x minus 20 equals 0. Okay, I'm going to erase this. Okay. This is number 2. Okay, now let me rewrite this. A is 1, B is 2, C is negative 20, and I'm going to erase my quadratic formula, and I'm going to rewrite it up here. X equals negative b plus or minus the square root of b squared minus 4ac all over 2a. Okay, got it? And it's good to rewrite it because you want to memorize it. Okay? All right, so I'm going to take these values and put them into the formula. X equals negative b. Well, b is 2. See my parentheses? Parentheses again for the b, 2, minus 4. A is 1. C is, negative 20. All over 2 times what? 1. Okay? This is going to give me not 1, but 2 answers for x. See the plus or minus? Okay? X equals negative 2 plus or minus. This is 4 minus a negative, so that's going to give me a positive. 4 times 1 is 4. 4 times 20 is going to give me 80. So 4 plus 80. 2 times 1 is 2. Okay. Got it? Now, this, I'm going to erase this because I don't have a lot of room here. You could adjust it on your paper. This is going to be 84. Okay? All right, now, I can simplify this radical. I could say this 84 is the same as 4 times 21. 4 times 21 is 84. Okay? Now, the square root of 4 is 2, so I can bring the 2 out. So, I have 2 times the square root of 21 all over 2. Okay? And from this, I can change this to negative 2 over 2 plus or minus 2 square root of 21 all over 2. This is 1. So now, and this is negative 1. So I get negative 1 plus or minus the square root of 21. How many answers are here? 2. Negative 1 plus square root of 21. Negative 1 minus square root of 21. Okay? And we don't have time right now, but if I took this and put it into the original equation, okay, on this side, this would become 0, okay, for both of these values. This is a number. It's irrational. It's an ugly number, okay, but there's 2 of them, negative 1 plus, negative 1 minus, all right? And believe it or not, there's a place on the x-axis where this is, okay? We'll get into that in a subsequent videotape, okay, YouTube. Alrighty, I'm going to send you an email with a link to problems where you have to use the quadratic formula. So you've got 2 worksheets today that I'd like you to start today, work on maybe through the weekend, so that next Tuesday we can talk about graphing this stuff. Okay? Hope all is well with you. Stay well. Keep that social distance. Okay? God bless you.